Hi, and welcome to yoga. My name is Joanne. Thank you for coming out to practice today. We will start in a comfortable seated posture. So feel free to sit up on a blanket or block if you need to elevate your hips so you can find length through the spine. And so your knees aren't super high. So it's nice to get the knees a little bit lower or level with the hips, just to keep the hips nice and open. And that will help us find a nice tall posture as well. So it can be, pretty high, whatever you need, or even you could start in a chair. So let's shrink the shoulders up by the ears, create a little bit of tension and squeeze them down back behind you. And then tap a little weight into the elbows. And then we'll retract the chin just slightly so that the head is directly above the spine. We don't want the head forward. I think with all the computer and texting we do, we have a tendency for the head to come forward. So just make sure it's nice and stacked there. And at the beginning here, we'll go ahead and close the eyes. And take a few moments here to center and ground before we start our practice. So you might want to set an intention today or a dedication for your practice. If that sounds like something that resonates with you, you can, for yourself, you might focus on the breath or alignment. You might try to be gentle with yourself today, more gentle, go easy on yourself. So whatever you want to pick, choose one thing to focus on, and then repeating that to yourself 3 times to sort of anchor that into the subconscious mind for the rest of the practice is really helpful. And as we sort of center and ground here, focus on the breath as well. So we want to bring awareness to our belly as we bring the inhale in to the body. So we really want to begin the inhale in the lower abdomen. And then we want to spread the breath out through the side bodies, east-west, so front, back. And then we bring the breath all the way up into the chest and the clavicles. So thinking of the breath moving through the body like a big wave. And then as we exhale through our nostrils, we reverse the wave. So the chest falls, the ribs come together, and then we squeeze the navel gently toward the back of the spine to kind of press all the stale air out of the lungs, which should automatically bring the breath back into your belly. So try that. And I apologize if you can hear my neighbors are working on a big project in the backyard. I'm not sure if you can hear it or not, but I can, so hopefully you can't. So we just allow all the external environment and stuff just to sort of be a part of the practice if it is, and not try to push, resist, or anything, just sort of let it be. We'll do that, hopefully. So let's take a few more deep yogic breaths together. So again, inhaling through the belly, moving the breath all the way up through the chest. And exhaling through the nose, squeezing navel towards spine. Inhale, coming back in. And as you breathe in, we're expanding the body, expanding some space, filling the tissues with oxygen and moving blood. And as we exhale, we're just letting go of anything we don't need, releasing waste product from the breath. Relaxing tension. Lengthening the inhale and the exhale just a little bit to a comfortable level with each breath that you take, so that we're really activating our rest and digest nervous system by slowing down the breath just a little bit. So let's take 2 more breath cycles together here. Breathing in all the way to the top. And on your exhale, gently bow the chin toward the chest. So we'll meet here, getting a nice stretch through the back of the neck and shoulders. Make sure the collarbone and shoulders are still open and the posture is still tall, just the head forward. And as you're ready, on your inhale, we'll begin to open up to one side, nice and easy. And on your exhale, bow forward. Inhale, we'll open it up to the other side. Exhale, forward. So we'll allow the breath to guide our movement, so it should be nice and slow and intentional. And maybe with each opening, you find a little more space. If anything is painful or uncomfortable during the practice, you don't want to do it, so listen to your body. Never working in pain. Good inhale, open. And then maybe if you're comfortable, you look up and back a little bit. So listen to your body. If that works for you, try it. If not, don't worry about it. We want to be very gentle with the back of the neck. Next time you come to that first side, we'll pause on the side, so ear lined over the shoulder. Check that your posture is nice and tall. We're going to walk the opposite arm out to the side, so ear is over the shoulder, opposite arm extends. Fingers touch the floor, so lift through your sternum. Make sure the shoulder is soft and relaxed, so we don't want it up by the ear. Just try to drop that shoulder. And then we'll just gently look down over the shoulder that our ear is over, excuse me. And then we'll inhale gently toward the sky, kind of on a diagonal from this extended arm in that direction. So we're just rotating. We're not lifting the chin up and down. We're rotating with the ear over the shoulder. So you might change the angle slightly. I want you to breathe as you move. And hopefully you're feeling this throughout the movement. So if you're not, you might switch the angle just a touch until you can connect sensation with the breath. So we're really opening all the muscles inside of the neck here and into the trapezius and shoulder, levator scapula, all those muscles that hold our heavy head up. Good, let's take one more breath cycle on this side. And every time we're breathing, we're imagining infusing oxygen and blood into the tissues. As we inhale and as we exhale, we're softening and letting go of tension. So go ahead and bring the head back to the side, back to neutral, toward the screen. Good, drop the chin forward. Inhale the head upright, bring that hand back in and sit up tall. So I just want you to sort of feel the difference in each side of the neck. Hopefully you feel a little more open on that side. We'll drop the chin to the chest again. And inhale to the second side. So switching sides, and we'll walk again the opposite hand out, touch down on the floor, check that you're lifting, shoulder is relaxed. Good, and then gently begin to let your breath guide the motion. So exhale, look over your bottom shoulder. Both shoulders are soft and relaxed. Inhale as you rotate and gaze to the opposite corner and the ceiling. Exhale down, inhale up. And again, maybe play with the angle slightly. Whatever feels best for you. Feel this opening throughout the stretch. Have another breath or two on this side. And then we'll slowly bring the head back toward the screen, toward neutral, the ear of the shoulder. Go ahead, drop the chin forward, bring that hand in, take your head upright. And just take a breath here, observe how that feels. Excellent. So we're going to hold on to the knees a little bit here. We're just going to kind of bring the chest forward. So imagine kind of pulling the chest through the shoulders, arching the back slightly, not uncomfortably, and then round through the back, sort of rounding the shoulders. You can hold the knees and kind of use a little traction. So we're going to inhale forward and exhale back. So nice. Try to really move the torso, feeling the sides of the body and the ribs stretching in each direction. Keep the breath moving as you move. And don't stress about the breath aligning with the movement. Just keep breathing. And then let's reverse those circles. So kind of feeling this a little bit in the hips, spine, side body, shoulders, activating all those muscles. Keep the breath moving nice and deep. You could close the eyes too as you do this. Just kind of intuit where your body needs to release. And then we'll slowly come back to neutral spine. Let's shrug the shoulders up by the ears and down the back. Open the chest. Switch the cross of your legs briefly. My foot is falling asleep. Got a sleepy foot. Okay, so sit up tall. First, if that happens, feel free to stretch it out and release it. So then we're going to just sit up nice and tall. We're going to sweep the arms up. So I want you to gather a little energy. And while keeping the spine neutral, reach back behind you without arching in the back to stretch the chest. Lift up. Maybe touch hands. Exhale, pull behind you as you open the chest on the way down as well. And then we'll add a little resistance. So inhale, imagine you're lifting something in your hands. Lift up. Opening through the chest. Try not to arch the lower back. Exhale, pull behind you. Let's do that again. One more time. Reach up, lift something heavy in the hands. Deep breath in and exhale back behind you. A little resistance on the way down. Good. Release the hands by the hips and shrug the shoulders up by the ears and down the back. Do that again. Squeeze up and back. And one more time, squeeze up and back. Excellent. Settle the shoulders. I'm gonna remove my blanket and we'll come onto all fours into a tabletop position. So I'm gonna get a different blanket for my knees. So have your props that you need handy. And I encourage you to use whatever you have at the house. If you don't have yoga props, that's okay. So we're going to come to all fours and the hands should be directly under your shoulders. You're going to press them out away from you. Brighten your fingers on the mat so the fingers are as wide apart as you can get them. And then press through the index and thumb side of the hand as well. That has a tendency to lift. So see if you can press that in toward the floor as we open the inside of the elbow toward the front of the mat. So that's going to bring the shoulders down the back and then soften the elbow joint so it's not hyperextended. We don't want to hyperextend the joint. So just nice and soft and not locked. Knees are under the hip points. And then we're going to draw the navel toward the spine to engage our core a little bit, activate the feet into the floor as well. So you're not just sagging and hanging out, you're pressing the mat away from you, engaging the muscles. Neck is long. Let's take some cat-cow. So we'll inhale as we drop the belly, send the tail and crown far and away. So thinking of a long boat or a gondola. And then exhale as you round, drop the head and tailbone, press up like a cat. Inhale as you open. Kitty might make an appearance as I said that. Exhale, round. So let your breath guide you. Maybe close the eyes. Breathing in and out deeply. Feeling the belly stretch as you open and feeling the back stretch as you round. One more time. Great, let's come back to a neutral position with the spine. And then we're gonna, inhale, sweep one arm up to the sky, open your chest up. And as you exhale, come all the way down, bring the arm under between the hand and knee on the floor and come all the way to the cheek. So you wanna make sure you come all the way to the floor to get that full release for the shoulder. Inhale, stretch, open, lift up. And you might stay static if you really need to release in the shoulder and just breathe here. That might be better for one side, or so listen to your body, whatever feels best for you today. You might want to move more. Breathing in as you open, exhale as you release down. Do twice more on this side. Expanding and releasing. Last time. And we're going to pause at the bottom just briefly. I want you to take a breath here. Maybe the opposite arm reaches behind the back, maybe not. You might just bring the hand up here and give yourself a little lift. Melting into that shoulder, releasing any tension. One more breath. Excellent. Let's come back to all fours and we'll switch sides. So set yourself up first. And as you're ready, inhale, reach. Exhale, thread the needle. Hold deep breaths as you move up and down. Good. One more time. Let's pause at the bottom of this one. And then whatever hand position you'd like for the opposite hand. Breathe into this and melt into the floor. Nice and slowly, we'll unwind back to all fours. Good, and then take your knees behind your hips just a little bit. Make sure the hands are still under the shoulders. Nice and bright with the hands. We're gonna bend at the elbows and lower our chest between our hands, coming toward the floor. Keep the glutes in the air, awkward S pose. And then let the legs slide out from underneath you, tops of the feet to the floor. Inhale, open your chest, reach your arms, swim them behind your back, connect the hands and pull the hands toward the feet to open the chest. Keep the feet glued to the floor if you can. Tuck the tailbone toward the heels and breathe into your belly here. Deep breath. Feeling the body rise and lower with your breath. One more. Good, release the hands back next to your chest, chin down. And then push back into child's pose, sit on your heels if you can. If you can't, you can always place something behind the legs for cushion or a little more space behind the knees there. Relax the forehead to the floor, and then slowly walk both hands off to one side of the mat and relax the head. Breathe into the side here and the hip. Relax that shoulder. Really keeping the heels back, come through center and walk to the other side. Relax the head. Breathe into the shoulder and the hip. Come back through center slowly. Inhale to all fours. My little blanket. Knees behind your hip points just a few inches. We'll tuck the toes under, and we're going to slowly peel up toward downward dog. You don't need to straighten the legs right away. So this is our first downward dog. So take it easy and just walk your dog. So pedal one foot and then the other, just sort of easing into this stretch. Head is relaxed between the arms. Hips and hips are lifting up and back. Pedaling the feet. Keep the breath moving. Hands nice and active on the mat. Let's walk it up slowly all the way up to the front of the mat to a standing forward bend, where you'll measure about 2 fists between the feet. Knees bend as much as you need, hands next to the feet, forehead toward the shins. And just note where you are in your forward fold at this point in the practice. Let's grab opposite elbows and dangle. Let the head be heavy. Gently sway side to side. Hopefully you haven't just eaten. You shouldn't eat an hour before yoga, at least, or this won't be comfortable. Good, let's slow it down, bring it back to center. Feel the weight even on your feet. Maybe shift a little forward back. Release the elbows and let the arms dangle. Let the head be heavy. Maybe shake it out. Find even weight on your feet. We'll gently tuck the tailbone and pull yourself up by the back. Imagine a mama kitty lifting a baby kitty up. So nice and limp in the upper body as you rise up slowly. Unfurl yourself. Shrug your shoulders as you open your chest at the top of the mat. Hips are nice and neutral in our mountain pose. So maybe shift the hips forward, tuck the tailbone under, and arch the back again and tuck under. And then come to a neutral position for your pelvis. So hip points nice and even. And we're not forward or tucked. We're nice and neutral. Heavy suitcases in the hands, arms by the side. Chin parallel to the floor, crown of the head lifted by an imaginary string. Mountain pose. Take a breath. Excellent. We're going to reach back again without arching the back. Lift the arms behind you to stretch the chest. Reach up. Touch the hands. Exhale, soften your knees as you lengthen the heart over the legs. Swan dive into a forward fold. Forehead tucks. Inhale, lengthen into flat back. I like to bring my hands on my thighs and pull my elbows back. Use a little traction to lengthen here. Crown of the head forward, not looking up at the screen if you can help it. Looking down so the neck is long. And then exhale, fold. Good. We're going to roll up. Inhale, let the arms dangle again. Pull yourself up. Open the chest. Back to your mountain pose. Reach back on the inhale, lift. Touch hands. Exhale, soften knees, swan dive into your lungs. Inhale, fill the lungs as you come halfway to the floor. Exhale, empty the lungs and fold. Good. Roll up again one more time. Inhale. Open the chest back to your mountain pose. Good, reach back, inhale, lift. Deep breath in, touch hands, exhale, empty the lungs and swan dive. Inhale, open the chest into flat back. And exhale, fold. Excellent. Plant your hands next to your feet. We're going to take a giant step back with the right leg, or you can start on the other side if you like. So we're going to press through the heel here and come onto fingertips. Or you could maybe, if you need blocks here, you can have blocks under your hands if this is difficult. We want to keep the hips low. We're going to soften that back knee a little bit. So bend your back knee. And then I want you to find your front foot nice and even. And you're going to power up through the front leg and lift up into a high lunge position. So a little bit of balance here using this muscle. Make sure the knee is above the heel, not forward of it. And then reach the arms up. Soften your shoulders as you extend through your fingertips. So my back leg is bent here so that my pelvis can be neutral. And then if you have room, straighten the leg without dumping into the back, right? So keep the pelvis neutral. This is a big stretch for this hip flexor, so be gentle with yourself. You might not straighten the leg, and that's okay. You should still feel a nice stretch here, where you can breathe. Good, shoulders soft, chest open, pelvis neutral, breathe in. Good, we're gonna try to use our balance and slowly open the arms out as we pivot our back foot down and open the arms toward warrior two stance. And if you need to adjust, you can. So you can have heel to arch alignment or heel to heel alignment, whatever is best for you. So it should be comfortable in your hips. Front hip opens toward the front knee side. Arms extend, warrior two. So maybe sinking that leg a little deeper if it's comfortable. Listen to your body. So you basically want this knee above the heel. Good. Nice. Gaze toward the front hand. So from here, we're going to do a little flow. We're going to turn the front palm toward the sky. And as we inhale, we're going to lean forward. So that front leg is working. We're going to keep it working as we lift back for peaceful warrior. So arm rises, and we keep the pelvis neutral here as well. So we don't want to dump into the back or anything like that. Keep lifting through the chest. Good, exhale, come back to your warrior two. Front leg still working. Good, let's do that again. Reach up, inhale, reach. Exhale, float back. Breath in, breathing into these rib muscles, and exhale, warrior two. Beautiful, one more time, reach up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, float back. Ooh, there's a lot on that front leg, so if you need a break anytime in the practice, you're welcome to take one. Come back to your warrior two. Gaze to the front hand, breathe in. As you're ready, we'll exhale. We're going to windmill, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot, turn the back heel up. Hands plant, hips lift, and we step back slowly to downward dog. Maybe you pedal the feet here. Awesome. From here, we're going to roll into a plank pose. So I want you to be mindful about how you're moving in the pose. So from downward dog, you shouldn't have to shift the hands or feet at all, really. So we're going to roll the shoulders up to line above the wrists, spike a little energy into the heels. So your hips and shoulders are in the same plane. Breathe in. Exhale, drop your knees. Exhale, continue the exhale as you plant your chest between your hands. Engage your core. Awkward S pose. Slide the legs out, tops of the feet touch down. Inhale, open the chest in cobra. Feet are glued. Take another breath here, maybe lift the hands. Back is long and loose. Good, release the hands. Tuck your toes, come through tabletop, or straight back to downward dog, up to you. Good, and then from here, you can make your way to the front of the mat by either walking, take a nice slow mindful stroll, or stepping, or hopping. However you get there, make sure you're light on the joints. You don't want to slam into the feet. So nice and light, fold over the legs here, see where you are. And then we'll roll up, inhale, slowly roll up, pulling up through the back body. Come to your mountain pose, neutral pelvis, crown lifts. Take a breath. As you're ready, inhale, reach back, lift up. Hands touch, exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Forehead tucks. Inhale, flat back, lengthen the spine. And exhale, fold again. So maybe your legs are beginning to open up a little bit as we warm the body up. And then hands will plant. We'll take a giant step back with the left leg this time if you were on the same side as me on the first time. Knee above heel. Soften that back leg. So relax that back leg. Use the front power of the front quad to lift up. Balance, reach up. Soften the shoulders, extend the fingers. Pelvis is neutral here. Then maybe you can stretch through the heel a little bit further without arching the back. So we're trying to keep this neutral pelvis and then push into that heel, but don't force it. And again, see if you can make sure that that knee is stacked above the heel, front heel. Nice. Breathe. Good, and then mindfully and slowly, we're gonna pivot down, open out, warrior two stance. Notice the shoulders stay above the hips. I'm gonna turn around so my back is not to you. So check your alignment, adjust if you need. Always adjust if you need. And again, this front hip tracks with the front knee. So we're not, the hips are not aligned facing the side of the mat. We're opening that front hip toward the knee side. Shoulders stay stacked above the hips. Good. And then as you're ready, turn the front palm up. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, float back, peaceful warrior. Breathe into the ribs here, lift out of the back body. Good, exhale, come back to your warrior two. Good, and see if you can make sure your pelvis is neutral here as well. You've got a nice firm foundation, so make sure that front heel is under the knee. Excellent, good, reach to the top, inhale, reach. Exhale, float back. Very nice. Breathe in. Exhale back to your warrior two. Let's turn the front palm up one more time. Inhale, reach forward. Maybe you're lifting something this time, a little resistance. Inhale, lift. Breathe into the ribs. Good, exhale slowly back to your warrior two. Good, breathe in. And then we're gonna cartwheel the hands down, frame the foot, turn your back heel up. Plant your hands as you lift the hips high to make room for the right leg to come back and meet the left, and downward dog. Pedal your feet. Good, and then again from downward dog, we'll roll into a plank pose, shoulders above wrists. Lots of intention, activation. Exhale as you drop your knees, chest and chin to the floor. As you come down, engage your core. We'll slide into a cobra. Good, and then this time we're gonna slide the elbows under our shoulders for Sphinx pose. Glue the feet to the floor. Arms are parallel to one another, so not coming in, but open. Elbows are right under your shoulders, and you're lifting, pressing into the floor. Almost drag the mat towards you. And open the chest. Notice my hips are down, and my lower ribs are down, so I'm lengthening up out of my back. Breathe. This should not be painful in the back. So If it's too much, you can come down a little lower. Try not to crunch the neck. Or you can also drop the tail toward the heels, like exaggerate the tailbone toward the heels a little bit, taking any pressure out of the back. One more breath. Good. Exhale, slowly bring the hands next to your chest again. Release the chin down. Good. Tuck your toes, coming through tabletop or straight back downward dog, up to you. Maybe pedal the feet out. And then as you're ready, make your way mindfully to the front of the mat. So again, be light on your feet. If you're stepping up, you shouldn't hear a sound when you land on your foot. So we really want to activate the muscles and strength as we move so we're not slamming into our joints. Hold, and then we'll roll up, inhale slowly, rising back up to the front of the mat, to your mountain pose. Nice and neutral here, heavy suitcase in the hands. Take a breath. Good, reach back, inhale, lift, touch hands. Stretch your chest as you float the arms down, soften the knees, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Flat back, exhale, melt again, forward bend. We'll plant the hands. Good, giant sit back with the right leg. And then this time we're gonna step our foot up a little bit and plant it on an angle, and then lift up for a warrior one position. So this back foot will angle toward the front corner of the mat. My right foot is angling toward the right front corner. And then my front foot, my knee is still above my heel, and I'm still neutralizing my pelvis, aiming my hips toward the front of the mat for the most part, tucking the tailbone. So no pressure in the low back. Reach the arms up. And another thing to keep in mind in this posture is we want the outer edge of the back foot pressed into the floor. So soften your shoulders, open your chest, and breathe. Good, so from our warrior one, we're gonna inhale as we straighten through the front leg and then pull the arms behind you in a big circle all the way back down. So we're making a big circle, keeping the pelvis neutral, and then sweeping up, inhale, lift the arms back up. Pelvis stays neutral. Harder to do in this pose than it looks. So I always take a shorter stance in my warrior one. It's just easier. And it's, I think, better for our hip alignment. Again, hips kind of toward the front. Arms up. So straighten the leg and reach back. Pull behind you to open the chest. Big circle. Inhale, lift. Maybe find that resistance. Good, inhale, lift, straighten, pull back, and sink. Nice work. So we're not moving fast, but hopefully moving with intention and working our muscles at the same time. Breathe in. Good, from here we're gonna exhale and float the hands down to frame the foot. Slide your back foot back. Hands plant, lift the hips, step it back to a downward dog. Adjust if you need. Good, and then we'll inhale, plank pose. Exhale, we'll drop knees, chest, chin. And slide it into your cobra, open the chest. Over here, feet glued, maybe lift the hands, take a deep breath in and out. Good, release the hands next to your chest, chin down, tuck the toes through tabletop or straight back downward dog, up to you. We'll meet at the front of the mat, getting there mindfully, however you like, nice and softly. Forward bend. Roll it up, inhale, pull yourself up. Shrug your shoulders at the top to open your chest. Check the pelvis is neutral. Beautiful. Take the second side. Inhale, reach back, lift. Hands touch. We'll swan dive forward and fold. Hopefully the legs are a little straighter than they were when we started. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, fold. This time a giant step back with the left leg. And then step it up and put your foot on an angle. Check either heel to arch or heel to heel alignment, whatever you like. You can do train tracks. Rising up, warrior one stance. And then, feel free to adjust whatever feels best for you. Knee above heel. Hips toward the front. Tuck your tailbone nice and neutral to the pelvis as you raise the arms right above the shoulders and hips. Connect to your breath. Make sure that outer edge of that back foot is glued to the floor. And if it's not, adjust so that it can be. Good. Let's breathe in together. And then as we exhale, straighten, pull back behind you to open the chest, lower the arms in a big circle, and then sink and reach up. So intention with your movement. Working to keep that pelvis neutral. Inhale, straighten, exhale, pull back. All the way around. Inhale, reach. Neutral pelvis, breathe in. Pull back, exhale, straighten and open. And sink and reach last time. Breathe in. Good, we're gonna exhale, float the hands down to frame the foot. Slide the back foot behind you, lift hips, step back, downward dog. Adjust if you need your stance. As you're ready, we'll float into a plank position. Good, exhale, drop the knees, the chest, and the chin. We'll slide into a cobra. And again, bring the elbows under the shoulders for Sphinx one more time. Arms parallel, pressing into the mat, pull towards you. Lengthen the heart forward. Crown of the head lifts, tailbone tucks. And we're breathing into our back, and lifting out of the neck and shoulders. Good, one more breath here. Excellent. And then we'll slowly release down, bring the hands back next to your chest, chin down. And then we're gonna push back into child's pose here. So just sitting on the heels, take a little break, forehead down if that's comfortable. Shoulders and elbows relax. Maybe shimmy on the hips a little bit. Breathe into the back body. Good, and then we're gonna inhale back to a tabletop position. So I'm gonna come to the middle of the mat and I'm gonna come into a seated posture. So you can join me here. You can always sit up on your blanket if you need. And then we're gonna try firedog pose for our hips. So this is a bit of a challenging posture, but hopefully it'll work for you. And if not, you're welcome to take a different hip opener like figure 4 in the back. So this pose, a little tricky, but just watch first and then try it. So I'm gonna sit up nice and tall on my sitting bones, and my hips are pretty flexible, so this might look very different for your body, which is fine. So I'm gonna have my thigh bone straight out. So it's not over here, it's not on an angle. I'm having it come straight out from my hip. And then I'm bringing my shin bone parallel to the front of my mat, if you're square on your mat. And then I'm flexing my bottom foot. So I've got a lot of right angles going on here. And then I'm gonna take the other leg and place it on top. Now I want you to pay attention. I'm bringing my foot off the thigh bone so that my ankle isn't sickled. So bring the ankle off, the foot off the thigh so the ankle can be straight. And then I'm stacking my shins. So that's hence the pose name. So this leg is also coming straight out. So you're kind of in a square. Yeah, and you might be like this, and that's totally normal. And if you are, you might sit up on a blanket, see if that helps. And then you might just like press into your hands and lift the chest to stretch. So if you're comfortable, you might sit up tall. And again, if this is too much for you and it's too much for the hips, you can come to the back and cross the ankle over the thigh and reach through the hole and do figure 4 on the back. And you might get more out of this stretch if the other one is too much. So I encourage you to try maybe both and see what feels best for your hips. So we're really targeting the hip. So if this is too much, this is a little bit more advanced. If you do have tight hips, this might not be as accessible. So don't worry about it. So wherever you are, we're gonna breathe. So you should be able to breathe nice and deep. And if anything's too tight, you might come forward if you have room. You might not. So I encourage you to really listen to your body today and do what's best for you. Maybe we'll take one more breath here. Just keep softening into that hip joint. So if you're, oh, this is too much and you're resisting, then back out a little bit. So you want to be able to breathe freely. And with each out breath, you should feel a little more release. So if you're not getting that release, then you should probably try to back out just a little bit. No pain, no gain is not the name of yoga. Good, so we'll come up, take your time, and then take your legs out if you were in that pose and just shake them out a little bit, side to side. Good, and then we'll switch sides. So you're gonna take whichever leg was on top last time on the bottom, and then again, nice right angles with your bones. So stacking your shins parallel, thighs parallel, and then maybe you're here and you're leaning into the chest, opening up, feeling that in the hip. Maybe you come forward, or maybe you do figure 4 on the back for this leg. And you shouldn't have any pain in the knees either. So make sure you're breathing deep and comfortable and you're able to relax into it. If it's too much, back it out. Good. We'll just take a couple more breaths. Take your time. Nice and slowly come out of the pose, lifting up. Uncross. And let's shake it out again. Excellent. So we're going to come now to the length of our mat. I'm going to lift the flesh. And I'm going to come all the way down. I'm going to place my hands on my thighs and try to keep my heels on the floor as I roll out nice and slowly. Take your time. Engaging the core. And then bend your knees to place your feet on the floor when you get to the mat. And then walk your shoulders down away from your ears. If your chin is lifted on the floor, place a blanket or something under your head so that you can keep the neck neutral and imagine you're holding an orange under your chin and between your chin and chest. So that's about the gap you want there. You don't want to be too tucked or lifted. So if you need a prop here, please use one. And then feet are on the floor, knees hip width and feet hip width and parallel apart. We're going to take our hands behind our head, bring your thumbs to the back of your neck, and just give yourself a little massage right where the base of the skull meets the neck. Lots of nice acupressure points in there that can help release tension, can also help release If you've got allergies, there's some great points back there for that as well. So just kind of give yourself a little massage into the neck, wherever it feels good. Just some, using your thumb for some pressure. Nice way to release any residual tension. And then we've made a little basket with our hands to support the head, and the thumbs are supporting the neck and where the head and neck meet. So maybe using those pressure points, the elbows stay nice and wide. And then we're gonna lift the chest. So I want you to keep your elbows wide, engage your core, press your low back toward the floor. So we're tilting our tailbone a little toward our heels to press the back down to engage our core muscles. So we don't want to arch in the back here. We're pressing the back down to really feel the abdomen engage, protecting our lower back. Then we're going to inhale, lift the heart to the sky. And then we're going to bring the legs up. So knees are above the hips. And we're just going to do a little bicycle. So engage the core again, back is pressed down. And you're going to bring elbow to knee, stretch one leg out, squeeze in, open the chest to center. And switch sides, elbow to knee, extend the opposite leg. So little bicycles. And then take your time as you do these and make sure your chest stays nice and open. So we're supporting the head. Inhale, open to center. Exhale, twist. Straighten your leg. So the slower you go, the more challenging this will be, since you're not using momentum. Let's just do a couple more. Exhale, straighten and twist. Inhale, center. Exhale. Good. Come back to center. Good. Keep the chest lifted. Lower the feet to the floor. And then slowly bring the head and the shoulders to the mat. Good. Release the hands from behind the head. And then let's bring one knee into the chest, squeeze the knee and extend the other leg toward the floor. Good, so knee squeezes into the chest. And then we'll take a reclining twist. So take this bent leg across the body, rolling onto your hip, and reach the arm, opposite arm out. On the floor, maybe you gaze to the extended hand if that's comfortable for your neck and shoulder. And your back. Breathe into your side body. I want you to think about this top hip pulling toward the front of the mat. Elongating through the side body. Breathe into your belly. Good. Slowly bring the knee back to the chest. Squeeze it in. And then straighten the leg to the sky. Point the toe and flex the foot. Point and flex. And maybe your leg's down here, that's fine. Doesn't have to be straight. The knee can be soft. Just point and flex the foot a couple of times. Good. And then maybe holding behind the thigh, you might use a towel or a strap here. And just create a little resistance as you pull and push at the same time. Flex the toes strongly to the face. Breathe in. Exhale, soften. As you release a little further. Good. Inhale, let's resist one more time. Breathe in, push, and pull at the same time. Use the exhale to just relax. Pull the leg a little closer. Now, release the leg from the strap or the hands. Flex the toes toward the face. And then slowly extend the leg all the way down to the floor. Nice line with the leg. Good. And then we'll take the other knee into the chest. Squeeze it in. Other leg is extended now. Breathe in. And then we'll slowly take our twist, pull the leg across the body, extend the other arm out from the shoulder, maybe gaze to your extended arm. Soften your shoulder. This top hip pulls toward the front part of the mat as we breathe into our belly. Good, and then slowly come back to center. Squeeze that knee in again. Extend the leg into the sky. Hold on behind the thigh, anywhere that's comfortable. Leg doesn't have to be fully straight. We'll point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. And one more time. And then we'll keep the leg flexed. Again, using your towel or hands, whatever's comfortable. Resist a little bit. Press away. Exhale, relax. Use the inhale one more time. We'll resist, push and pull. Same time. Good, and exhale, soften and release. Should get a little further. Keep the leg in the air, release the hands down next to your hips, flex the foot, and slowly lower the leg back down to the mat. Take your time. Good, and then we'll come to our final resting position. So feet can flop out to the sides if you're comfortable in the back body. Tuck your shoulders under your heart, open the chest, palms face up. If your back feels any tension at all, you can bend the knees, feet a mat width apart, and let the knees come to center. Or you could place a roll under your knees, whatever you like. Whatever is most comfortable for you to relax completely. So close the eyes and part your lips to make sure that your jaw is nice and relaxed. Bringing awareness to the body as you breathe in and out of your nose. Every exhale softens you a little more into the floor. So you want to scan the body for any areas of tension. Surround them on the inhale with your breath. And on the exhale, release and let go. Relax your entire body completely. Relax. 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 And if you're able to spend a little more time here, if you have the time, I encourage you to do that. Because pardon the bird talk, the most important posture I think that we take in yoga is that we give ourselves this time at the end of the practice to really sort of absorb all the benefits of the practice. So assimilating all the hard work that you did today, and just letting it settle into the body, into the tissues, into the nervous system. We don't have that much more time today. I'll go ahead and ring the bell. And just gently begin to wiggle fingers and toes to bring awareness back to the body. And we'll slowly roll onto the right side of our body for a moment to a fetal pose. You can bend the knees and place your feet on the floor if they're not already there. And just take a moment in this position to notice any changes in body and mind between now and the beginning of your practice. And maybe recalling if you set an intention or dedication for your practice, bringing that to mind. And then as you're ready, take your time and use your left hand to push your heavy body back up to a comfortable seat. Sitting up on your prop if you need to. Lengthening through the spine. And then let's inhale as we sweep the arms up together. Reach back, stretch the chest, lift up. Gather some energy. Seal your hands at the top, and we'll bring them down to our heart. And bow to yourself with gratitude for practicing today. Thank you for joining me. And we'll bow to each other. Namaste.